Y'all, we made it through another week of Lobotomy Kaisen because JJK 249 is almost here. Leaks are going to be dropping tonight. So for my anime onlys that are watching this, scroll away. Barring any POV switches, we should be looking at Sukuna versus Okkotsu tonight. The King of Curses versus the Queen of Curses. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we swapped to Hikari versus Uraume or something. But I think it will be this, especially because if you'll recall that reporter that showed up at the editor's office a few weeks back, the panel he was looking at was most likely from this chapter tonight. Just as a reminder, this is what he looked like, so be prepared tonight, y'all. I'm not feeling good for Okkotsu. I would hope that he would last more than one chapter, so hopefully nothing happens to him necessarily, but if you see my previous videos, I am very worried that he is going to be literally eaten by Sukuna before it's all said and done. But how about we pivot from that depressing train of thought and focus on some more positive things? Let's talk about these sponsored questions. And first of all, from Miss down here wants to know, is it possible to inherit the 6 eyes? And Jay up top wants to know what my thoughts are on the possibility of Okkotsu copying Gojo's technique. Thank you both for the support. So first, on the inheritance of the 6 eyes. Yes, they can be inherited, but it's a little bit murky. So first of all, the 6 eyes are in the Gojo clan, and only one person can have them at a time. So there cannot be 2 6 eyes users existing concurrently, right? Now, we know a little bit about the history of this due to Kinjaku running into 6 eyes users and them causing him a lot of trouble, right? He lost twice to 6 eyes users, which then caused him to take out a 6 eyes user a month after they were born. He also did this with the star plasma vessel. So all of this makes sense, right? But then we get to this part over here. Even after Kinjaku did that, on the day of the merger, a 6 eyes and star plasma vessel still appeared. So that is a very vague statement, but we can kind of assume some things based on that, right? Because the 6 eyes exists, as far as we're told, given this whole Tengen merger thing, in order to protect the star plasma vessel to like make sure this all happens, right? So if this just means a new baby with the 6 eyes appears, that wouldn't have made a difference, right? Like Kinjaku would have been able to beat a baby just like he did over here. So to me, this implies almost that like a teenager or a young adult or even an adult member of the Gojo clan suddenly got the 6 eyes. Like they weren't born with it, but since the baby over here was taken out, they then got the 6 eyes so that there would be a 6 eyes. Now, there doesn't always have to be a 6 eyes. Like we know from current times of JJK, Gojo is the first 6 eyes limitless user in 400 years. But there might have to be a 6 eyes when there's a merger happening, which is only once every 400 or 500 years, right? So it's at least possible that a 6 eyes can just manifest in somebody that is already born, but we have no confirmation of this. It might not work that way. It might just mean a new baby, but if it is a new baby, that doesn't make much sense to me because Kinjaku would have been able to deal with a baby, right? Just like he did here. So this is where we get really zany, and this will lead us into Jay's question. But before we get to that, what if Okkotsu manifests the 6 eyes, since Gojo is now gone, and Okkotsu is technically related to Gojo? They share a common ancestor. So even though Okkotsu isn't a member of the Gojo clan, he still might have the correct, DNA to be able to manifest the 6 eyes. And that's only if it is possible to manifest them based on that appeared panel that we were just talking about. However, the circumstances aren't really the same, right? Because the 6 eyes is connected to Tengen and the star plasma vessel by fate, and because the merger was happening, that's why one appeared. However, there is another merger about to happen that does involve Tengen here, so perhaps those same qualifications are met, right? Now, me personally, I don't really see this happening, but that would be really cool. So now on to Jay's question of could Okkotsu have copied Gojo's Limitless? I think that's definitely possible. However, we know that the Limitless is not very effective without the 6 eyes. So unless he does somehow get those as well, I don't really see him using the Limitless. Now we know Okkotsu does have a ton of cursed energy, but I think it's less about having enough cursed energy to use the Limitless than using it like precisely and efficiently. So maybe like in a worst case scenario, Okkotsu could pull out the Limitless to like save him in a situation where he otherwise wouldn't be, but I don't see him using it like constantly the same way Gojo did. Now, again, if he somehow does have the 6 eyes, then maybe we do see him pull it out. But also, I don't really see all of that happening because, again, Sukuna does have access to the dimensional slash, so while Limitless wouldn't be worthless, it wouldn't be like the trump card to pull out at the end or anything. One final thing I forgot to mention earlier that I do want to make note of is that the Six Eyes is not a curse technique. So Okkotsu probably can't copy that aspect of Gojo. However, we don't really know how Okkotsu's technique works. It's never been fully explained. So perhaps he doesn't just copy curse techniques. Maybe he copies more than that. And the only evidence we have is with curse speech here. Now, I'm not saying that curse speech users have like physical traits that are akin to the Six Eyes, but they at the very least have physical traits that accompany their curse technique with these markings on the tongue and the face, because that's what Inumaki has and he was born with it. And similarly, Okkotsu gets that as well when he copies him, right? So it at least exists in the realm of possibility that the Six Eyes could be copied, but I really don't think it works that way. But it'll be interesting to see. Okkotsu definitely needs all the help he can get. So let me know y'all's comments for this, or comments. Let me know y'all's thoughts, predictions for this chapter in the comments. I'm very nervous, very scared, but really excited.